Now, the system, whenever you create anything in an area, is going to place it at the bottom of the page because it doesn't know where you want it to go. And you can, as I mentioned with the course menu, within this content area, if I want to move something, I can put my cursor over the area and then it'll turn, this particular box turns a little gray, and then I get this yellow bar to the left. My four pointed arrow thing happens and I can move it anywhere I want, and you'll see that you get a dotted line and that will tell you where it's going to be. So I have my introduction to online education, the header for my class, I have my sample syllabus, and now I have my contact information below. Additionally, I can create what are called items in Blackboard, and items let me build editable pages within Blackboard that I do not have to upload content to. If I come to build and item, I will be brought to a page very similar to the upload, but the difference is that I can make a file in Blackboard. So introduction, instructor introduction. So I'm going to make a file up, and then I'm going to start typing a message. So welcome to the class. My name is Kyle. I am your instructor. I will teach you. I will teach you well. Okay. And I studied this a lot, so I could teach you about it. Okay. So say you're doing an instructor introduction, you're doing a little welcome to the class. Now you have this menu here. If you saw, I just typed in a little, in the text box, I typed in a little piece of information. Everywhere in Blackboard, you're going to have this text box editor, and the editor is going to let you write any type of content out that you want, and then also you can format to your likeness as well. So say I want to change some of these things around. I do welcome to the class. I want to make that centered. I want to have this be like this is, or maybe I want to make this be centered as well. One little piece of advice when you're using the text box editor, its default is to double space. So as I type things, it's going to double space. If I want to not have double spacing, I just hit Shift Return, and then Shift Return plus Return prevents that from happening. Okay, so this is the text box editor. It's going to let me do any type of things that I want to do. I can change the color of the font, though sometimes you want to be careful about that. I can have web links. So say that this is actually a web link that I want to have. I can actually insert a web link right here. I can do a whole bunch of stuff. I can add attachments. I can add pictures if I want. So it's basically letting me create a little mini website in Blackboard. But it's letting me make an editable page of content within the LMS that I don't have to upload, and I can edit directly in Blackboard. If you're going to have pages that you frequently change, or say you have welcomes to the weeks, that you might want to actually create one with some base information and then copy it over and over again, you'd be able to do that using an item. If the first time you come in, you don't see all three menus, you're going to see that at the far right-hand side, you have a downward arrow. The downward arrow is going to just collapse and expand your menu options. Just to let you know, what this is doing is while you're building and doing your settings and making adjustments here, the HTML code for you the whole time. So that's just to let you know that that you don't have to know HTML. You just have to know how to format. Feel free to use how to use Word or any kind of formatting word processing program, and that's going to create you a file. Again, you'll have the ability to attach documents here if you would like to have an additional attachment to your item. And then you have your standard options, as I mentioned before, and those always will appear. When you're all set, you can go ahead to click Submit to proceed or click Cancel to go back. Now you'll see here that I have a page that is available on the screen, and it's the text that I've written, and I can move this to above my sample syllabus, and now I have an introduction there. When I click on student preview mode, I now have an item that is in Blackboard that I can edit and create many pages like this, and I also have a document that is uploaded, and when you click on that, in a PDF format, it will automatically appear on the screen. Now, I'm using Chrome, and so Chrome is doing a weird thing. I know yesterday I had this problem as well. It's only half loading this, but I think, yeah, as you scroll around, I think you can play with the window and then it'll fix it. It just needs the window to be expanded a little. So that's just to let you know that that's what the PDF will look like when you have it in your class. I'm going to go ahead and exit out. And it'll take a few seconds. There we go. Now, say I don't want these items, or say I want to move these items someplace else. So, for example, I'd want to actually upload a different syllabus. I have two options to upload my syllabus. I can come here to the downward arrow action link, and I can click Edit, and I can simply swap out by clicking on Select a different file. It's going to remove the previous file, and then let me find the new one, which I'm just going to use the same one I had. And I'm going to type in sample syllabus. So I can just swap out one syllabus for another one without having to make any adjustments. If, however, I'm going to use a completely different format or document, and I just want to get rid of this, I can come down to this menu as well and then scroll all the way to the bottom instead and click on delete. I'm going to go ahead and click on delete here. It's going to ask me if I want to delete it, and I say yes. And then that item is deleted, and it's deleted permanently. If I have an item, I have the ability, and both items and files do the same thing, but if I have an item and I want to move it, or I want to copy it, I have the option to open up, click on the action link, and then choose to do either copy or move. If I choose to do copy, this item will stay in its original location and then also be copied to another location. If I choose to move, it will take this particular item and move it in the class. I'm going to go ahead and click on move. I'm going to get a window here. It asks what class I want. Yours is going to be your default. But if you're an instructor in multiple classes, you have the ability to move content from multiple classes, from one class to another class, which is kind of awesome. And then you can choose your destination folder. And this is just going to ask you where you want to move it. And so, for example, I've decided that I want to put my welcome in to my, my week one, my instructor welcome into my week one folder, and I click on that and I hit submit. It will now disappear from the main menu because I moved it over there. And if I come to my weekly unit content and I come into week one, I now see at the bottom that my instructor introduction is there. If I go, oh, you know what, I don't even want this anymore, I go ahead and click on it, and I can hit delete. I also have the ability to add audio, images, video, web links. Now, web links is going to be the most popular thing that you might want to add into an online class, and that's going to be what I mentioned before, which is that you would have, kinesiology website. And I hope I kept it. Yep. But the cool thing about web links is I am going to explain why you are looking at this website. And pay attention to the following. And then, blah, blah, blah. You will be asked about these resources in a future quiz or assignment. Okay, so I create a web link in the system, and then what will happen is that this website will be here. It's going to explain exactly why you are using this web link, and then you can click on it and the web link will open for your students. So that's going to be available to you as well. And again, you can move it wherever you want if you want to.